Boom, Slay the Spire. It's a turn-based RPG roguelike deck building game. Deck building means you have a deck of cards. The deck is the main thing you'll use to interact with the game, and building it is about customizing your deck through adding or removing cards over the course of a run. There are 4 characters, all of which specialize in a couple specific styles of deck, with cards that are unique to themselves. There are 3 main kinds of cards: attacks, skills, and powers. Attacks attack enemies. Skills are used for defense, protecting yourself, or drawing cards. Just anything that's not really attacking people. Powers are passive abilities you gain once you play the power card, and the power card poofs out of your deck for that fight. There are also trinkets. Trinkets are different passive abilities, but the difference between them and powers is trinkets are just items you always hold. You always get them. You don't have to play nothing. They don't add to your deck. At the start of the run, the player is given a map, and they can choose which way they want to go. They see the entire map and all the paths they can take from it, and they can choose, which one they want to go through, and they can see prior to what kind of encounters they'll hit on their way up to a boss. Encounters largely consist of enemies, elite enemies, special events, shops, and campsites. Through these things you could heal your character, or you could beat enemies, gain cards, lose cards, and just all sorts of stuff. I got this game in early access and thought it was amazing then, especially for its cheap price. I don't know, it's like 20 bucks Canadian. I've since put a bunch of hours in the game and exhausted all the deck possibilities, but if the makers were to put out more DLC, I'd buy that shit immediately. There's also a modding scene behind Slay the Spire that will introduce all sorts of new enemies and cards and bosses and all sorts of crap, but I'm definitely too dumb to get that all working, so, you smart people should totally get into that. A possible negative of the game is that the first few runs of the game are always a bit hard, since you unlock a lot of the better cards through the earlier runs, and you kind of need the better cards to take on the bosses. So I'd say just don't get disheartened if you do not win right away. It'll come. I'm probably not mentioning stuff like bosses or there's money or you have a character and that kind of stuff enough, but well, whatever. But here's some general deck advice instead. Keep your deck relatively small, around 20 cards. Some cards leave your deck after being played once, so, and I don't mean forever, they just leave the deck for that fight. So you could, keep that in mind when building your deck at the 20 card limit, because you can kind of go over it with that. At the end of battles, you're offered a card often. It's okay to skip that, unless, if it doesn't help your strategy, don't take it. You can remove cards from your deck at special events and shops, so usually do that and usually get rid of your starting attack cards. They're usually kind of shit. This is for all card games, honestly, not just Slay the Spire. Having good card draw and energy is almost always amazing. And in the end, Slay the Spire is tons of fun. It doesn't cost much. It can easily be played while you watch television, which is an underrated quality that games can have, and for that reason, I give it a 10 on 10. Would recommend.